You're listening to From Imposter to Empowered. I'm your host, Jillian Perrick, master's graduate and success coach for entrepreneurial women. I help you overcome imposter syndrome and fear of rejection so you can be your best self, both in life and in business. Follow me on Instagram at Northern Resolutions. Let's get started. What's up, people? It is Thursday today while I'm recording. Just got home from work and it is freaking beautiful outside. We finally have gotten some beautiful weather. I don't know if it's going to stick around, but getting this weather in the beginning of June is okay, but I'm ready for summer. And actually I go back to my shift work job starting in July. So that will be interesting. Definitely going to have to get used to sleeping in all the time, which I used to do when I worked shift work before. But now that I have to be up every morning for this Monday to Friday job, it actually gets me up and gets me going, which I like because waking up is so hard for me. But I really love my sleep and I've really missed out on it. So I think it'll be nice for the first couple weeks to get caught up. And then I also think it's going to be really good because that's when Unsure to Untamed starts. So if you don't know what Unsure to Untamed is, it is my 10-week group program for female entrepreneurs who own side hustles and that have service-based businesses. And this group program is going to change your life and change your business because I help you overcome imposter syndrome. You will be able to show up on live video, get through launches and launching your services and pitching your services to people without fear of rejection or failure. If you feel like you really self-sabotage, if you deal with perfectionism, we cover that as well. We do a lot of inner child work, money mindset, as well as strategy sessions. So I'm going to have 2 trainings a week. One is going to be all about mindset, and the other one is going to be like a mini training session on strategy. So something about Instagram content, how to find your ideal client, who is your ideal client, all that type of stuff. So it's really great for people that are trying to get the grips on their business and learning that there's a whole other side of it. So if maybe you're a coach, or maybe you're somebody that just started doing something because you love it, and then you realize that there's a whole other world of marketing and all types of other things that you didn't even think that you would have to worry about. I've totally been there. And until I invested in something where somebody could be alongside me, which I'm going to, give you personalized feedback, talk about your specific services and how this program can help you achieve your dreams and everything that you want to do, charge what you're actually worth, and not feel bad about charging what you're worth. This program is for you. So if you're listening and you're interested, but you kind of want to hear more on how it would be specific to you, I'm going to put the link in the show notes and you can book a call with me. It's a sales call, but it's no obligation and it's free, and we can talk about the program and if it's a good fit for you. So again, link in show notes, or you can find me at Northern Resolutions on Instagram or northernresolutions.com for all that information about the group coaching program. And again, it's called Unsure to Untamed. So today's topic is all about confidence during a sales call. And I was thinking of this topic because obviously I'm doing sales calls as I am doing the intake for Unsure to Untamed the last 2 weeks. And one of the things that I was thinking about is how fearful I used to be and how clients have been when they are going to jump on a sales call. And I think that really goes deep into feeling desperate because they want the sale, feeling like they are icky around selling or asking for money. I actually just had a realization. I was working out and I thought about this time where I babysat this woman's kids, and she had 4 kids and they were all pretty young, and I was maybe in grade 7 or 8, so 11 or 12, and I was paid maybe $3 to $5 an hour, super cheap, or it was even less than that because that was in the 2000s, the early 2000s. So anyways, so I was paid super, super cheap. And on Christmas one year, because I would go to her house after school every day and look after her kids until she got home from work. So after school one day, so Christmas rolled around one year, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give her a really nice Christmas card and some candy. This is 12-year-old me talking, hilarious. And I'm also going to write her a letter about how it's really a lot of work to watch your kids and I would like a little bit of a raise. So I was trying to validate my worth. And guess what happened? She stopped using me. She didn't even say that I wasn't going to be used anymore. She just stopped calling and didn't ask for my help. And I never babysat for her again. And I wondered what that did to my money mindset. So I wondered if I ask for something I won't receive. If I think that I'm charging what I'm worth, people won't want my services because they don't deem them worthy. So I think when it comes to confidence on a sales call, to circle back, it's just about knowing that your services are good, whether somebody wants them or not. And you are literally just, and my coach calls this triaging. So she calls it when you're basically taking the client's pain points and you are saying how your service will help them with that. And that's what she did with me when she sold me her group program. And that's what I attempt to do, because when people just want to know that they're heard, people just want to be validated, and sometimes it's not a good fit, but it doesn't make it about you. Maybe they don't like the way the program's set up. Maybe they don't think that it's going to help them. But that doesn't say anything about you. But if you are putting out that desperate energy and that, like, I really need this client. Like, I remember somebody said, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Angie Lee or something, which I was talking about her in the last podcast too. But she said, like, repeatedly tell yourself, I don't need this client. Because when you do that, like, you're reminding yourself, like, you're good on your own, you're worthy, you're enough. And when we talk about imposter syndrome, a lot of our fears, especially with women, are that we're not enough, that we're not worthy of compensation for a job that we're doing. And what happens is when we don't charge our worth, we undercharge, and that means that we're not as invested, and then we don't do as good of a job, or we burn out because we're doing a really good job and we're not getting compensated fairly. So when it comes to your sales call, like, you want to be compensated well, and you want to come off in a way that you want to help somebody, but you're not like super like desperate for their sale. So let's talk about a couple ways, so 3 specific ways in which I've targeted that are important when you're going to get on a sales call when it comes to your confidence. The first one would be to set the mood, so to get into a high vibe. So Amanda Francis has these really good, I just hit the mic, sorry, has this really good video series that I was listening to, was the energy and frequency of money. And in one of them, so in the first one, she talks about a vibration. And basically a vibration is feeling the feelings that you would feel if you were like super happy or super joyful or what have you. So something that keeps you at a very high level state. So for me, I've identified that after work, so when I'm off work at 4:15 in the afternoon, I am fucking drained. I'm so tired. If I go home and take a nap, I will be so irritated the whole night. But what I do is when I have stuff to do for my business, I actually go to the gym. I make sure I go to the gym, because when I get home, I am like raring to go. Like, I got my endorphins all up, my blood's pumping. I'm super excited about my business. It's something about just getting myself moving that makes me very motivated. So I've realized that's what gets me into a high vibe, is being excited and like jumping up and down and getting my adrenaline going, and being excited. Whereas if I were to jump on a sales call when I'm super like down and out and not feeling great and like had a nap and like everything was shitty, I probably won't be able to put on a good face, because I'm a very genuine, realistic person. I like to think so. If I'm feeling a certain way, you can see it on my face, and that's like, it's literally uncontrollable. I've tried before to hide if I'm in a bad mood, and people that don't even know me that well, like at work sometimes, they know me pretty well now, but people at work have seen me and been like, what's wrong? Because you can just see it all over my face. So make sure that you're getting yourself into a high vibe, you're setting the mood, put on a candle. And the next thing is express excitement to talk to them. So be fucking pumped that you are talking to this potential client. Potential client means potential money. And yes, you're going to repeat to yourself, I do not need this client. I do not need this client. But that doesn't mean that you can't show that you are really pumped to speak to them. Ask them their name. Ask them well, I hope you fucking know their name by now, but ask them some personal questions. Ask them how they got into their business if that's your ideal client. Ask them questions about their personal life. People fucking love when you use their name. Say their name a million times over. People want to know that you care about them, and when you're excited to speak to them and you know details about them, I always look up. Well, I have intake questions, so I already know quite a bit about my potential clients, but I also look at their Instagram, and I'll make note of something and be like, oh, I saw this in this one post. You show that you pay attention, and don't fake it. Actually genuinely be interested in the person, because I know that we're all out here trying to make money, but at the same time you have to think if you were looking, so let's say you're a coach, if you were looking for a coach, you wouldn't want someone who would treat you just like the cookie cutter coach, right? You want somebody who's going to be like, oh, I saw that you love the color pink. I love the color pink too. Oh, I saw that you have a tattoo. What does it say? I love tattoos. I have this tattoo. Yeah, I remember I was on a podcast interview, and I talked to somebody who had watched One Tree Hill before, and I was like, oh my God, I used to love One Tree Hill. I still do. Real talk. But I was like, oh my God. And we talked about that for a couple of minutes, and it just creates that connection with people. So people want to be connected to you. And my third thing is, don't beat around the bush when it comes to pricing. Yeah, we're going to talk about pricing. I originally had a note, don't talk about it at the end of the call, because I don't want it to be left to the back burner, but sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you are just talking so much about stuff, and then you have to be oh, by the way, this is the investment, so what do you think? So with pricing though, my advice for that for a sales call would be, don't beat around the bush. Don't think that if you say your price and the person is amped up about it, that's going to change their mind. Because a person will make something work if they deem it a priority. They will make it work if it is something that they think that they need. And yes, you can be frustrated with yourself that you didn't articulate the need as clearly if someone declines. However, it doesn't matter, because you don't want to work with those people anyways. You want to work with people who are invested. You want to work with people who will want your services. I was talking to somebody, and she's a photographer, and she was really worried that her recurring clients or clients that she's had before will be upset with her if she raised her prices. And money is an exchange of energy. And if it takes you more energy to do something and you have to put a price tag on that, then you cannot tell somebody, I'm going to do the best job possible, I'm going to take the best pictures possible, unless you are doing it from a place that you feel good about. And that means you're being compensated for what you're worth. If this is your job, if you run a business full time, or even as a side hustle, personally, I feel my time is extremely valuable, and I treat it as such, because when I was treating it like it wasn't, oh my God, I keep hitting the mic. When I was treating it like it wasn't, I was so fucking burnt out. But I was like, no, if somebody asked me to be on a podcast and I don't think it's going to reach my ideal client, I'm not going to be on it. And a lot of people want to talk about imposter syndrome. So I have gotten requests and been like, no, that's not really my audience. But where was I going with this? Oh my God. Happens to me all the time. But essentially what I'm saying is your energy is important, your time is important, and you need to be compensated as such. You are going to do such a better job. So let's say you're a photographer, you're going to do such a better job at a Saturday shoot if you know you're being compensated fairly, but it's a really beautiful day out and your photography is your side hustle and you just want to enjoy the nice day, but instead you're doing a job. And if you're being compensated fairly and a pretty good compensation, then you're yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to take the best pictures ever. I'm going to do such a good job. It's such a beautiful day out. Versus if they were paying you pretty low and you felt like you weren't being compensated, you're going to be in a bad mood and you're going to not do your best, most likely. Some people do their best, burn out, do extra, and totally overcompensate, and then they feel resentful, and that can really derail your business. So to recap, the 3 things that we talked about today in regards to confidence during a sales call are to set the mood and get into a really high vibe state where you're super excited to get on the call and you completely support yourself. You're completely confident in yourself and your abilities, and you're excited about the call, and you're telling yourself, I do not need this client. This client might need me, but I do not need this client. And that just shows like you're enough whether you get this client or not. There will always be more people. There will always be more opportunities, and every perceived failure is actually a learning opportunity. The next thing would be express excitement to talk to them. So get to know them beforehand, have questions for them, really try and connect with your client. And this can be applied also like not so much like a video call or even just like a call at all. This can be applied for like messaging people about your services and stuff like that. Like you want to express that you're excited to speak to them and make it genuine by using their name, saying something specific about their Instagram feed or something specific about who they are as a person or whatever, and like you'll be able to connect to them pretty easily. And people can smell bullshit from a mile away. People know if you're just talking bullshit in their ear. And the third one is don't beat around the bush when it comes to your pricing. So again, remember that pricing is an exchange of energy, because you are exchanging your services for their money. And you are worthy of that compensation because you need to be able to do a good job and do what you're capable of doing. And you can't do that if you're undercharging and devaluing yourself. So in regards to the sales call and not beating around the bush, like talk about it like it's the most casual thing in the world. Here is the program A, B, and C. This is the price. What are your thoughts about it? That's another thing I picked up from my coach too. Asking them what they think. And if they have objections, you can offer payment plans. You can give them an offer that's cheaper. But there's always different ways that you can speak to them when it comes to pricing, but you always want to seem confident and like you believe in your product or your service. And that comes down to pricing. Don't worry about offending somebody because chances are if they're offended by a number, like they're not that invested anyways. If people want what you're selling, they will find a way to buy it. I could not afford, air quotes, afford my current business coach, but I said, I'm going to fucking make this work because I need to do this for my business. And guess what? I made the room, and the universe made the room for me to excel where I needed to excel. And I don't have a problem paying her. I'm actually excited to pay her every 2 weeks because it's what I need to do to push my business forward. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Whenever you are listening to this, will most likely come out next Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Tuesday. So to Tuesday, June 11th, if you're listening to this today. And I really hope that you consider being in Unsure to Untamed. Again, 10-week group program for service-based female entrepreneurs. We tackle mindset and we tackle business strategy, and just a combination of the two, because once I actually started believing in myself is when stuff happened. And I don't know, the universe is freaky, but once I actually got into a high vibe state and started caring about myself and working on my mindset is when the magic happened. And that is not bullshit. I got the receipts. I got the receipts. Is that what they say? Like, I got read receipts or whatever when you want to show the proof. But anyways. Okay, so I hope you guys have a really great day, like I said, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening to From Imposter to Empowered with me, Jillian Perrick, master's graduate and success coach for entrepreneurial women who want to overcome imposter syndrome and fear of rejection. You can find me on Instagram at Northern Resolutions, or info on my services and client reviews at my website, northernresolutions.com. See you next time.